MLA. So let's go ahead and use a paper that I wrote for grad school, or at least a couple paragraphs of it. And I want us to go through this paper and figure out how we would format it for a research paper that I would turn in for one of my classes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is check to make sure that everything's in Times New Roman 12-point font. So I'm going to go through and highlight all my text. I'm going to go make sure that it's Times New Roman 12-point font. I'm actually going to make sure that the color, the text color, is the same. You'll notice that originally the references, the word cited wasn't the right color. So everything now is apparently the right font. Next thing I'm going to do is make sure that my encabezado, my heading, is correct. So it needs to be my name, my professor's name, the class, and the date. Now notice that the date is written as I would for anything normally. In MLA, make sure that it's, again, 16th of November, 2018. This is my title. A lot of you in your papers that you were writing kept putting it towards the left, justified. We want to go towards this line and justify it towards the middle. A lot of us also have these gaps, and we want to get rid of these gaps. They are not necessary. And then finally, I have to make sure that everything, again, is properly spaced. So I highlighted my text again. This time I'm going to go to spacing. There are two ways to do that. We can go to format line spacing, and then change it here, or the shortcut, I just clicked out of everything, is to do this double. So as far as it looks like, everything is double with the exception of my encabezado. So I'm going to make sure that's double. Now notice that this kind of looks a little fishy, right? So one thing that I like to do is after I double space everything, I go back in and I check and I highlight to make sure that, see, it should have a check mark. So I need to go to custom spacing, double, 0, 0, apply. Okay, so we are good. It should all be double spaced. Notice that I still have that extra gap that's not necessary. Now this is the step that a lot of us miss in MLA format, and I promise you we'll get to the in-text citations in just a minute. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and write my last name. I'm going to go insert page number. Now, if I don't insert it and I just put the number 1, right, my next pages are going to all have the same page number. And a lot of you try to do this where you're like, oh, what if I do a different first page, right? So do the same thing, Pardo 1, and then make this one 2. That works again for a 2-page paper, but if it's any longer than that, which it will be for your research paper, that doesn't really work. So we need to make sure we go to insert page number, and then there you have it. Each page is going to change to 3. You'll notice that I have to fix my little issue got going on. Let's do a different first page. That's not what we're doing anymore. Okay. Now again, a lot of you do this too. You've got a perfectly Times New Roman 12-point font, looks great, and then I go up here and it's Arial 11. So make sure that you change the font up here as well. And again, that should translate to all pages having page numbers. So that's how we do MLA format, briefly. If you're not sure, some of your margins I noticed in your rough drafts also are an issue. You can go to page setup, and you'll notice that this is 75. So really I want to make all my margins from top to bottom 1, if possible. And so really that's actually how our margins should look on an MLA paper. It should be 1-inch margins. All right, so I'm going to stop the video here. So this is just, again, a brief rundown of MLA format. Now, the next video is going to be about in-text citations and word reference, or not word reference. I love that dictionary. References or bibliography.